Now let's take a look at the text functions also as well. When it comes to the text function, it becomes sometimes complex. Um, right. I'm going to use several functions here so that you understand the concept. Let's say I want to extract the first three. Whenever you hear first three letters of surname. First three letters of the surname. And then the last two of the first name. And then we want the ID number, the day, or let's say the month. Extract the month. The month of birth from the ID number. Example here is 05 or 5. 02. Right. Now, and here we want to extract um, extract only the numerical value from the student number. Here we want to extract only the numerical value from the student number. So let's try and solve these questions one by one. Now, when they say the first three, when you hear the first three, and then here also we want to capitalize um, okay, we'll come there. Now, this first one, the first, whenever you hear first, meaning you use the function called left. When you see last, we use the function called right. When you are extracting from anywhere, we use mid function. So now, the first three letters, so we use left, equal sign left. Then you click on the FX. The text is the surname, C2, number of characters. The question said the first three, so we need three number of characters. So when you scroll down, you can get it for all of them. Right. The last two, like I said earlier, we use right function. Equal sign right. And then the text is the first name. How many characters? 2. Now, look at this question here. It says we must extract the ID. So the ID is not the month from the ID. And the month is not the beginning one because we know the ID number, the beginning to the first two will be the year of birth followed by the month and then the day. So we want to extract only the month. That is these ones. Those ones are the ones that we need to extract. Right. And in order to do that, because it's not starting, so we have to use the function called made. And don't forget, made can be used to replace left or right function. So made, so the text will be D2. Anytime you see text, it means click inside the cell. Then the start number. Here, which number are we starting from? We are starting from this 0. So when you count from the left, it will be 1, 2, 3. So the start number is 3. And how many characters do we need? 2. So it gives us 0, 1. Right. Now, this question says we must extract the student number. We must only extract the student numbers. These ones. Right. Now, you can see that the student numbers are not having the same number of characters. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if they have an equal number of characters, you cannot just say right. Because if I say equal sign right of this one, and then I say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 5. So if I say 5, not all of them will be displayed. Since you are going to get it wrong. So whenever we have this kind of situation, we have to use combination of text functions. Combination of text functions. Now, how do we use combination of text functions? And that is our next topic. So you can see that these numbers start from T. So we have to get the position of this T. And we are starting to count from here. So we use the function called made. Then the text is A2. Start number. Which number are we starting from? Because we are not starting from the beginning, but it's in the middle. We need to use a function called find or search to search for the position of this T, because T is the one separating the numbers from this text. Then you go to the formula bar, click inside that bracket for find. So what are we finding? T. From where? We are finding letter T from this cell. So we got 2. Then you go back to the mate function, click there. Now it's a number of characters. Now the number of characters, we cannot just say 2 or 3. So we have to use combination of functions also. That is len. You click inside the bracket, the text len of A2. Go back to the formula bar for mate. Click just after the mate. Then you can give you the function argument for mate again. And say minus find. Why are we subtracting the find value from it? Because we have to subtract the total number of characters minus where this T is coming from so that we take out the ST. Find, click inside the open and close bracket. What are we finding? T. Within which text? A2. So when you are done, go back to the mate function to see that everything is in order, and then click OK. Now, you see it gives us the T. We don't need a T. So we go back again with our formula. Where is it the start number? We have to say +1. Why +1? We want to move next after 1 or after the T. Then click OK. So now we got our thing perfectly. We will see how we can solve this in the building block to make it easier for us. So in this situation, we're going to solve this one in the building block smoothly. Now, how are we going to solve this in the building block? Like I said, first of all, because we are starting in the middle, the first thing we do is to use the len function. Equal sign len of this one, you press enter. So you first use the len function, then you use the find function or search. Equal sign find. What are we finding? Letter T, because T is the one separating the two. From which text? This one. So we got 2. After that, then you say len minus find. That is the value that you got under the len minus the value you got under find, which will be equal sign. You click on the len value minus the find value. So this now become the number of characters we are going to use. So if we come here, we say equal sign mid. And why do we use mid? Because we are starting to extract from the middle, not from the beginning, neither is it from the end. So mid, the text will be this one. Start number will be the value for find. And then the number of characters will be the value for find minus 1. So this is what we are going to do. The value for find, minus 1, and then also that one. Now it gives us the T. The start number, don't forget to always say +1 to take out the text that you search for its position. There we go. So basically, that's how we approach this type of questions. Right. Now, before I proceed, I would like to check if there's any question. Then after that, we are going to solve a lot of questions regarding text functions and then the date and time. Those are some of the difficult questions also, together with the lookup function and added the one we did yesterday. Right. So I will check if there's any question. Yes, somebody is saying, are we going to do database? Yes, definitely. Database will be done on Sunday. Yeah. We plan database for Sunday or Monday, one of them. I will communicate to you in the group. Tomorrow there will not be any lesson, but Saturday and Sunday and Monday we will have lessons. Especially Monday. Monday will be extensive, trying to be online to address everybody's question. That's what we are going to do on Monday. Right. Now, if there's no question regarding this, let me proceed to some questions. So join me as I open the spreadsheet one. You will see the questions. And if you are using the link also, when you go to that folder, you see Excel questions. All the questions are here and in the document that I use. Then you will find the data files. You find all the data files also here. Every question regarding spreadsheet, you'll get them here and then you must practice. Before we do the database, also you get a database questions and files also here, which I will share with you, but then we will revise database on Sunday. Right, so I'm going to open the questions under text functions before I come to date and time. Now, this document also, I simplified the text function. I gave a little bit of note. The left function, what does it do? The mid, the len, the find and search. The upper, lower. Upper is to convert to capital letters. Lower small letters, and then proper to capitalize each letter of each word. Then also combination of text functions like the one that we were doing, we will be looking at more questions like that also. Now let's look at this one. One activity. We are going to look at one activity. It says insert a function in D6 to determine the race ID of the runners. The code is a combination of the following: the last two letters of the surname, the initial, which is the first letter of the name, and the number of runners in column A. So now, this one you have to break them down in the building block. You break them down in the building block for each bullet, and then we now put them together. Now we have to insert a function in D6. Here is D6, but you cannot just put the function there. You must break them down here. Right. So I will start with the first question or the first bullet. It says the last two letters of the surname, the last. That means we use the right function. Equal sign, right? And then the text is the surname. Then the number of characters will be 2. And then the initial, which is the first two. First means we use the left. Equal sign left, double click on FX, and then you go to the formula bar. Then left of the name, how many characters? 1. And then followed by the number of runners in column A. The number of runners in column A is here. We can also put it in the building block to make it easier. Equal sign. Then you click on the value in column A. So now when you have all these, we can now put them together. So we go to the cell D6, equal sign, click on the first answer, then you choose shift and then 7, which is the N or ampersand symbol. Click on the second one, shift 7, you click on the third one. So that is to concatenate or to combine them. We could have achieved this one also by using what we call text join or concat. You can say concat, and then text 1, you click on your first answer. Text 2, you click on your second answer. Text 3, you click on your third answer so that it can be put together. So you can use text join or you can use concat as well. Right. Now let's move straight to the next question, which is 3 states. This one says the last 3 letters of the name of the city, the number of characters of the name of the state, and a random integer between 100 and 200 inclusive. So we open 3 states. Right. All right. It says, okay, it's 3 states, not 3 states. Sorry, it's a 3 states. Yeah, this is the one. So this one, we can use the building block to solve them step by step. So let's say we have building block here. The first one says last three letters of the name of the city. So we use equal sign, all right? Click on FX, the last three of the name of the city, which is the city name, and then the number of characters, 3, followed by the number of characters of the name of the state. The number of characters we use the len function, the name of the state, and then followed by random integer between 100 and 200. Now, whenever you hear this random integer, we use the function called len between. Len between the bottom, because the question says 100 and 200 inclusive. That means from 100 to 200. So inclusive, the bottom will be 100, and then the top will be 200. Now, when you have all these three, you can now use text join or use the ampersand to join them. Equal sign, click on the first answer, shift 7, click on the second one, shift 7, and then you click on the third one so that they will be put together. Sometimes they can tell you to convert everything into uppercase. Now, to do that, you could have done that here, and then after that, you come and put them in uppercase. So if you got the search question, let's see whether that question demanded that. No. Equal sign, let's say we put them here. Now, after this answer, then we want to come and put it here. You say equal sign upper. Then you click on your answer from the building block. There we go. So you can use building block to solve them step by step. Then we convert it to the right space. Right. So basically, this is how we do a text function, especially this particular question. This one is also similar. The first three, we use the left random 3-digit number. So here we use the len between, but a 3-digit number starts from 100 and then it ends at 999. So the bottom will be 100 and then the top will be 999. Let's look at that also. Then we can go to a more complex text function. So 3 cos right. It says the first 3 letters of student name. So we use the building block first 3. Like I said, we use the function called left. Equal sign left. Why are we using left? Because it's the first 3. So the first 3 letters of the name of the student, the number of characters, we say 3. Followed by random 3-digit number. So random 3-digit number, we use len between. Len between, the bottom will be 100. 3-digit number, the starting number is what? 100, because those are the one I had 3 digits. And then the bottom one, which is the last 3-digit number, is 999. Remember random number, so it keeps on changing. When I double click and I press enter, it will still change. And then followed by hashtag circus. So you put a hashtag circus here, equal sign, or you can just type it with inverted comma, or you can say equal sign, you put inverted comma, hashtag circles. Or you can type it inside. Now, when you have all these three, the question says they should be in lowercase. So we have to put them together and then we now change it to lowercase. So equal sign, you click on the first answer, shift and then 7. Sorry, to combine it, then the second one, shift 7 and then the third one. So this is the answer. Now they say we should convert all this into lowercase. We go to where we must place your answer, equal sign, lower. Lowercase, we use the lower function. Then you click on your answer. So basically, it's going to convert everything into lowercase. So this is how we use the text function to break it down step by step. Now, let's take a look at the other complex text function. This is also the same, random numbers, first two, and registration number. They are almost the same. So you can see most of the questions are like that. Here it wanted initial and surname of the gender, and then also the first letters of the game color. This one wanted full stop first, so don't forget to put the full stop and then the surname all in the building block step by step, then you put them together. Please take note of that. Now, let's look at this one. 4 excursions. 4 excursions. Let's look at it. Now, this question says, combination of functions in D7 to display the contact number in the following format. And we have the contact number like 0871522635. And then the format starts from +27 with 2 space and then the other numbers. So meaning the 0 is not there. And the question said, note, there are 2 spaces between the country code, that's +27, and the number. And there's no 0. So meaning we have to take out a 0 by extracting them using appropriate text function. So we are going to use the text function. We are going to do them step by step in the building block. First of all, equal sign, put inverted comma, +27. You close the inverted comma. So it gives you +27. And then we have to extract the cell phone number excluding the 0. And you know cell phone numbers contain 10 digits. So if we take out the 0, it's going to be 9 digits from the right-hand side. So we will need the right function. Then the text will be the cell phone number. How many characters? 9. And then, if possible, we can put a say 2 spaces. So we can put the 2 spaces also here. Equal sign, inverted comma, 2 spaces, and then you close the bracket with the inverted comma. Sorry. So the 2 spaces are here. Now, we are going to put the answer, let's see here. So we use concatenate, or you can use that N. Now let me use text join. You can also use text join function. Can use the text join, and then you put the text. So here we are joining them with space, text join becomes complex if, let's say, you are putting space in between. If not, you can just ignore it. Now, if text one is plus 27, followed by the space, followed by this one. Right. Or we could have just used equal sign plus 27, shift and then 7, your space that you have here, shift and 7, and then the phone number that you have extracted. So this is what the question wanted us to do, to get it as in the screenshot. Now, this is random numbers also with a forward slash. So here you break them down step by step in the building block, then you put them together. Now I want to go to a more complex one. These are all parts of or similar to the one that we have been doing. All of them are similar. This also. Right, let me look at 4 bookings. Yes, 4 bookings. That is more complex, the 5 marks. Now, regarding these 4 bookings, um, the name and surname are put in one cell. Now, the question says you must only extract the surname. And where do we find the surname? We find the surname only on the right-hand side. So meaning these are the surnames. They are not the same number of characters. Because Klaka has 5, Plessis also have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So whenever you don't have the same number of characters, that is whereby you have to apply the combination of text functions, like the find, the len, find minus 1 or len minus 1. That is how you must apply these combinations. Right. Now, where do we find the surname? We find them on the right-hand side. So meaning we will need the right function. Now, I want you to understand this concept. When you are taking from the right-hand side, you always need the right, the len, you need the right function, you need um, the len, and then you need the find function. So now, we need to break them down. How do we break these two down? Um, we have to use the len function, equal sign len. The text will be A10 to get the number of characters. And then from there, we need find function. So whenever you are taking from the right-hand side, we need the len, we need the find, just like the made function. We need both. Now, what text are we finding? What is separating the name from the surname, which is the space? So find text is the space within which text A10. Now, because we are using the right-hand side, we are using the right function, equal sign, right, The text will be A10. The number of characters will be the bigger value, which is the len value, minus the smaller value. So when you're using right function, there's no complicating like this. It's easier. You only need the right, the len function, and then also the find function to determine what is separating between the name and then the surname. Now, what if we wanted to also display the name? Then that one, if you wanted to display the name, then we were going to use the left function because the name is on the left hand side. How many characters? Now, when you are taking from the left hand side, we need only the find value. Only the find value. Only the find value. So meaning we are taking from here the find minus 1. Minus 1 meaning that we want to take out the space. So here we're going to get it perfectly. If we drag them down, we're going to get them perfectly. Right. So basically, this is how we solve this kind of questions. Now, there's a more complicated one which we are going to look at, whereby there will be kept in a bracket or something. That's where you need to do more than this in order to get your answer right. But then if you know this concept, when you are taking from the right-hand side, you need the len and then you need the find. When you are taking from the left-hand side, we need only the find value. Right. Now, let's go straight to another complex question. This one was the initial for sales. I think I must look for for sales and see. For sales. Right. Like this one here, let's say this one is also easy because it's separating them by a comma. So this one was easy. Now, let's say we needed to, they are kept inside bracket. The initials are kept inside bracket, as we can see here. Now, this is not a straightforward question because, as you can see, these initials are not starting from the right-hand side, neither are they starting from the left-hand side. So we cannot use right or we cannot use left. The only function that we can use is mid. So to use mid, you need also the len function. And then we will also need the find function. Now here, what are you finding? Because I know some people will say comma, no. But this arrow that we are looking for, it comes just after the open bracket. So here we will need the open bracket. That's the position within this text. And then after that, we come and put our made function here, the calculation, equal sign made. And you know the reason why we are using made, because we are not starting from the beginning, neither are we starting from the end. So made of the text, which is the surname and initials, start number. The start number, we are starting just after the open bracket. So we will choose the position of the open bracket, which is find. And then the number of characters, like just like the right function, it should always be the bigger value, which is len, minus the smaller value, which is find. Now look at it here. The answer that we are having is R with the open bracket. Now we have to take out the open bracket, and to take out the open bracket, we will say plus 1. Why are we saying plus 1 here? We are jumping after the open bracket. Now, the moment you say plus 1, it will also include the closed bracket. That is why we have to say minus 1 to take out the closed bracket also. So now we got it perfectly. Right. So that is how we solve this type of question. You need to use um, made, then the find function plus 1, and then the len minus find minus 1 also to take out that close bracket. So this is a more complex or challenging questions regarding text functions. Don't forget there can be a combination of text function and if statement, or combination of text function and lookup functions also. So you must expect this type of questions. But what I will advise you is that in all cases, try to break them down in the building block, then you'll be able to get your answers right. Good. Now this brings to an end of the text functions, and um, we move straight to the date and time functions to try and solve questions regarding date and time. So I'm going to open the date and time. I think it's part of the VLOOKUP. Date and time is also questions in the VLOOKUP. Yeah. So where you see the spreadsheet VLOOKUP, you will find the date and time questions also. Right. Now, I'm going to start here. 3 work. Three work. Right. Insert a formula in cell C10 to determine the number of days it took Willie Adams for the telecommuting. Use the date started in column D and then the date finished. So here we're given the date started and then the date finished. Now they want us to calculate the number of days. So here we can use the days function. Equal sign days. The end date will be the finish date, and then the start date will be the date started. So we got 7 days. Or we can also get the answer for days by using just a normal formula, equal sign, the finish date minus the start date, which is D7. Now it's going to give us date. Don't forget to go and change it to number. The start date Why are we getting this bigger value? Let's see. The date finished minus the date started. Yeah, 7. Right. So that is how we do the calculation regarding days. Now 3 comp also you were given. Um, let's start that one also. 3 comp. Right. Regarding this question, they said there's a preamble there. The winner of the competition will be announced 31 days after. I like this question. Will be announced 31 days after the closing date. Example, if the closing date is 30th of July 2019, the announcement will be made on the 30th of August 2019. That's 31 days. Now determine the date on which the winner will be announced in P2. So where is our P2? Here is it. So we have the closing date and we have the date submitted. Now, I always want you to take note of this. Anytime you are doing calculation, whereby maybe they will ask you to compare with a specific cell, you must give it a name. So in other words, I can just give this one a name, right click and say define name, and I can give it a name as A to restrict it. That is how we put also, you can put the dollar sign to restrict it. Now, because we want a date, we cannot say days or years or month. We just have to say date. Now, the year, this is the closing date. And now we want 30 days after this one. So we say the year into bracket, this date, the month into bracket, that date, and the day into bracket, this date given to us. Now, after that, they said 31 days after. So we go to the day column and say plus 31. So it gives us the date, 30th of August 2019. So that is how we calculate the date function. If they say after, you say plus. If they say before, you subtract and say minus. So take note of that. Let's look at the for novice also. And then we come to the time calculations. Right, the for novice. The art gallery will display the art piece for a certain number of months as given in column I. The date on which the display of the art piece start appears in column J. Use a function in cell K5 to determine the date at which the art piece will be removed. So here we have column J and K5. So column J has the number of months, and we want to put the function here in column K. Now, as you can see here, the date in was 16th of February 2017. Then if there are 3 months, it's going to be 16th of May 2017. That means that's the date after. And then the number of months are given to you over there. So because of this, we have to make use of what we call um, the date calculation. So it's going to be equal sign date, then the year, we use the year function to extract the year for the date in. Then we use the month function to extract the month from the date in. And then we use the day function to extract the day from the date in. Now, when you are done, the question says 3 months after. Oh no, the months are here in column I. So you go to the month and say plus, then you click on the number of month over here. So this one will give us 26th of June 2017 after 4 months from this one. So basically that's how we do calculations with the date, time, and then the number of years, the number of months. Always take note of that, please. Now let's look at the time calculations. For sightings, each game drive lasts 2 hours and 45 minutes. Insert a time function in cell F7 to display the time the game drive will end. So here we have the start time. Then after 2 hours 45 minutes, the question wants us to display the time it's going to end. Right. So for sightings, so the time is given to us here. So we have to use the time function. Don't forget, you can also use the building block, like I said earlier, to extract each of them. So here we can use the hour function to extract the hour from here. And then we also use the minute function to extract the minute from this time. And then we also use the second function to extract the second from this time. Now, after that, we come and put our main time here, equal sign time. So you say the hour is this one, the minute is this one, and the second is this one. So the hour, the minute, and second, you click on the values. Now, the question says 2 hours, 45 minutes. So where we have the hour, you say plus 2, and then the minute, you say plus 45. Then we have the new time. So we can also break them down in the building block. Forget about this 0, 0. If you know you have used the right function, then you get your final answer here. Right, so you use the building block to extract the minute, the second, and then the hour. Then after that, you come and use the time function to generate your new time. So basically, this is how these questions look like. Now here, the month display, the number of months, um, and others. Now, I want us to also look at other way of solving these questions. The other way of solving these questions. Okay, here is the number of years. So if it is about the number of years, you use the year frec. Let's look at the three steps, and then we use the year frec. Right. Now here the question wanted the age. This is the current um date, which is now. Let's say we're looking for the age. We're looking for the age here. We can use now equal sign year frag. So the start date will be this date. The end date will be the current date over there. So here gives us the 18 years. Right, so we can use the year frag whenever the question says calculate the age, you use the year frag. If the question says calculate the number of days, you use the days also to generate your answer.